G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Daethstro, the Aussie Geek, and today we are looking at the missing link, Optimus Prime. And this is why I had to get my G1 vintage figure out of the way again, because I knew I wanted to do a decent size comparison and whatnot with this guy. So this is the toy version that came with the trailer, because I did want the animation model that had the blue eyes, but I wanted the trailer, and even though I don't really display my trailers anywhere, it would have just felt incomplete without it. So for those of you who saw the short a long while back, it's probably been quite a while, at least a month, because I started doing the Terracons when he arrived. I had to hold off and finish them off before I got into this guy. So this is Missing Link Optimus Prime. I have pre-ordered the Cliff Jumper and the Bumblebee. And yeah, I can't remember who said it in the comments very recently on the vintage one that this guy is basically an improvement on the G1 toy. And I completely agree with what they said. I even said it in the comments. I will admit that without that original G1 toy, we wouldn't have even had this guy. But the idea that Takara decided to actually see if they could improve on the G1 toy design and add additional articulation, that was mind-blowing. So yeah, he does look amazing. There are things here that they have changed. We do have stickers. I didn't apply any of these. We do have stickers and whatnot. That, I believe, is paint. This was a sticker in the G1 figure. This is now painted. This is all sculpt. We, of course, have additional articulation. For the most part, he's doing basically what the G1 toy could do, except for the head swivel. However, you will notice that he's got sort of a bend of the knee, just because I wanted it sort of like that, the leg pushed further back. I will say that due to the way I've got these transformed, my hips are locked, but I will get to that. So he does look incredibly good. He does come with his accessories. He does have his gun, which I have my vintage one still out. So it's actually pretty much the same gun that came with the vintage one. So it's not the classic G1 laser rifle, but the only big difference is they've actually shifted. There's two posts here. There's one here, one here. I don't know why they did this one. I think that might be more for roller. But they actually made it so that whereas this one, which came with the vintage, like I said, this one has the handle port here instead of here. They've actually added it here. So there is that. We do have a whole ton, quite a bit of accessories. We have instructions. I got two sets of instructions, weirdly enough. I think one might be in Japanese and the other one might be English, but I think they're the same thing. The transformation isn't massively different, but it is different enough. I'm not quite sure what the deal is with that. I assume it's how you get the toy out of the box. So we have that. We have a whole bunch of other stuff here. So we have this one, which, like I said, for some reason I have two sets of instructions, and they're both in, I'm assuming, Japanese. So, oh, hang on. I don't think that's got that one there. Is it? No, it's got that as well. I thought that bottom right one might have been there. So, for some really bizarre reason, oh, hang on. No, it's a different language. So one might be Chinese and one might be Japanese. Because that one looks Japanese. I recognize some of the wording. I don't know what it says, but I do recognize it. So I think this one might be Chinese. Unless there's a alternative Japanese dialect that I am not aware of. So we have those. If I follow the instructions the right way. That way. And fold that away. So we have two Asian-looking instructions. We have a sticker sheet that I have not used. So if you want to replace the painted whatnots and put them onto your figure, you can. I am not. We have Oh, we have our card, which is paper basically. Text specs and whatnot, well, specs anyway, which can't read. We do have our decoder, which we'll get to in a second. Now put the plastic off to the side, and we have this, which is basically, once again, in Japanese, giving you your highlights of what it can actually do, which, once again, I can't read. So there is that. Put that away. All right, so as for the tech decoder, we have this very, very G1 inspired box with stuff that, once again, I can't read. But for those of you who don't actually know what tech this thing does, if you have a look at here, you may just be able to make out a blue line, although my camera is not really showing it. This is basically your power, strength, endurance, courage, so on and so forth. You would take this, and I don't know if it's going to show it, and it's going to be very awkward to hold. I'll try to see if I can focus it a bit better. You can just make out a line here. So usually Optimus is pretty much in the 10s. I'm not quite sure what's gone down to 3, because it starts up at 10, drops down, and then goes back up to 7. So I'm not quite sure what that is. But yeah, very, very G1 inspired box. It is obviously the Japanese writing and whatnot, but it looks really good. Right, the other accessories we will get to in a moment, because they are more for Roller. Yes, he comes with Roller, at least this version does. The animation style one is just the cab, doesn't come with anything else except for his axe, which we'll get to in transformation when we get back into robot mode, and he comes with the Matrix, which we will have a look at in a second. But he does come with Roller. It doesn't come with the trailer. It's just that, which is kind of how I wish this was. This was the animation mode with the proper eyes, but it is what it is. Excuse me. So the gun literally just slides into his hand. So like I said, I know I keep going back to it, but basically the same gun, except they put an extra handle port. Make sure I don't get them mixed up. So articulation first. And we'll get him a bit more situated. There's some additional ratchets in there. Head can do a full 360. If you use the transformation joint, he can look up. And I really should have worn my fingers somehow, because there is a rub sign in there. Arms come out that far. There is the transformation joint. I wish this was a bit further in the butterfly joint for later, but it can go backwards and forwards. We have elbow rotation. Elbow bend gets us that far. We have wrist swivel. This does not come off. It is part of the transformation. He has very tight, there we go. He has typewriter fingers. I think I was partly grabbed onto his thumb. He has typewriter fingers. Thumb is in one place, but there is a 1-pin knuckle. And if you want to, there is inner wrist, which is more for transformation. Now, this is something I got to double check. Now, apparently there is a waist. I was going to check this before I started this review, and then I just remembered I forgot. Give me half a second. All right, I double checked it. There is an ab crunch. It's a scary ab crunch, but there is an ab crunch. You will need to untab his his wheels. So I usually have mine tabbed in because I reckon that looks better. You want to untab here, and the ab crunch is going to detach from here. Actually, do you really need to? May not actually need to undo that, because I think it should be just here. Yeah, I'm going to untab those wheels just in case. But very carefully, because you need to sort of grab the back here, and you're probably better off doing it this way. Just watch where you put your finger here, because you don't want to break the head. But there you go. There's an ab crunch that far. So yeah, it doesn't engage with these. You're basically using his windscreen move there to use it, but that is like really tight. So just be careful of that. I might actually need to unplug it for this time. I think he has a slight weight swivel. Trying to figure out if I can show you where it actually is. You probably actually don't need, once again, you probably don't need to untab those. Actually, that's probably actually better off for you. If you keep the legs tabbed in and press the sides of the wheels, and that gives you your ab movement, your waist swivel. All right, the step that we will need to do this is, okay, never mind. It just proves how stiff this was when I first got it. I thought everything was had to do with those wheels. Leg goes back, that goes forward that far, and goes back that far. You have upper thigh rotation, so you basically hips. You have more than 90 degrees bend at the knee. You have 360 on the toe and goes down all the way and doesn't really go up. Legs, I don't like the feel there. I think it should go out, but I don't think it. Oh, it does. It's not. It scares the shit out of me, but he does have. I want to say his leg can go that far, but honestly, the way this is designed, that's scary as all hell, and I would highly recommend not doing that at all. I've just put my hips back together, so just be wary. Like, it could make it easier when it's eventually a little bit more played with, but that was scary. I would say unloosen screws, but there's no screws back here, so I can't actually unloosen anything. So that is it for articulation. Of course, your wheels can go up that far and tab in. Up to you. Now, as for the chest piece, you can flip the head back, and you have the same nubbin that the original one has. You fold this down, and it will go down a lot further, and you have your matrix. So then you can pop that out, and it is a lovely, lovely gold. It's painted. Unfortunately, there's no I want to say light something. Light. Basically, there's no clear piece in the middle. It does look good, I will say that much. Although, like I said, I haven't quite managed to do the light out darkest hour sort of thing. I kind of wish that the arms, completely unfocused, had a butterfly forward, but I'm not sure how that would work. However, for you G1 purists, and I haven't done this yet, so I don't know how this is going to go, you can take this out and see if I can get it in there. I haven't taken this out, so I'm not quite sure how. But basically, this is going to pull out, and then you have your seats. But mine is so tight in there, I am not risking it. But you can take this out, and then you have your G1 inspiration. But I'm not going to risk it because that just feels really tight. And sometimes things staying tight is way, way better. So there we go. Now, let's get down to transformation, and then we can do some other accessories and whatnot. So transformation is about 90% exactly the same, with about a 10% change in some elements. So we're going to flip our head back like we normally would. We're going to flip up our elbows, and instead of pulling the hands out like we normally would, we will fold them in, and that will give us our cab lights. Now, I'm just looking how this goes because I usually prefer to bring the legs out first, but I'm not sure if this is going to work with this transformation or not. Also, not really. They're going to fold in. I might be able to get away with it. We'll give it a try. All right, so I'm going to fold this in, and then the fist is going to go into this little gap here. Oops. Which my elbow is very, very, very tight. So just get that in there. You might have to move that shoulder a bit until it's situated. So back, and we'll just push it in. Like I said, my elbow's pretty tight. And fold that away. And there's tabs in there like the old one does, so it locks it in place. Next, we're going to, if it'll let me, lift the leg up. Is it going to let me? I don't think so. We sort of need to get past this nubbin. So we're going to bring these up, and I don't think there's a tab. No. We're going to bring the legs up and just around, and then if it hasn't already, you're basically going to push legs together, the hips together, so it tightens it up a bit. Oh, there is a tab. I don't know if you can see. It's just in there. 2 tab, legs together. Now, it does say to do this before the arms, but honestly, it doesn't feel good with this elbow rubbing against the fuel canister. So I'm a little bit iffy about that. And then, of course, we just bring the feet up. And if everything is situated and flattened and tabbed together, there is Optimus in his truck mode. And they are rubber tires, I think. Yep, feels like rubber. So, yeah, you can do a few things, so just be aware of that. But, yeah, it does look absolutely amazing in truck mode. Here he is with the recent one we just looked at, the vintage Optimus Prime. And apart from having giant handholds, it does look good. Although I will say I don't like all this plastic back here. There's something written there. I'm assuming it's its production number or something. But I don't like this. So whatever they did to the plastic, I wish they left alone. Also, that's metal. That's metal. But yeah, colors slightly different. Feet are a bit closer. The grill is filled out a lot better, but it does look like the vintage Prime. So it's very, very, very close to the G1 Optimus. Now, in this mode, we do have some accessories. We have our trailer, which is one of the reasons I bought this version, because I like having my Optimus as a trailer. I'm slightly disappointed that I was never able to get a trailer for my Nemesis Prime, but it looks good. This is either, I want to say it's either a really high quality sticker or it's painted on, because this isn't molded in. We have all the details, and of course it drives really well. That's roller, and there is something I don't like that they did with this that I wish the G1 version, that the G1 version does, that this one doesn't. So we'll put Optimus aside for the moment. As you can hear, he's rolling around. We can pull these out. So these are our side stands. Turn it around, flip down our ramp, and pop this open. And I'm going to get Roller out of there because he's going to fall out anyway. And just, this is a bit tight, so hopefully not too much. Oh, there we go. That's a little scary, but yeah. So there we go. We have our bow platform. We can lift this all up and fold this out and to rotate that around, and then bring the claw down. And there is your, I don't know why, it just seems like that either I've got the stands in the wrong place, because it feels like he's going that way. But yeah, here is Optimus's trailer. It does come pre-stickered. At least that's what I'm saying, it's stickered. So I'm going with the outside being also stickers. We do have our roller, and this is the one thing that I have to do a comparison for. Now, I don't have G1 Optimus, like I said in the last review, but I do have G2 Optimus. And while he is missing things like his roller, he is pretty identical, although, yeah, it's about the same size. And there is our combat deck. So now it's black because it's G2, so just be aware of that. But the one thing he can do that this guy can't is this gimmick here. That is Roller's launch. Now, I think mine's a bit off, but this is the one thing I wish they'd done. Yeah, you notice these two pieces back here. On the G2 and G1, you would plug it in there, you hit the switch, and Roller flies out. That creates a bit more stability. In the G2, there's nothing there. There's no launch gimmick. That's where the gimmick would be, and I have checked the box, and I have not seen anything in regards, and I'm just having a quick look at the instructions again to make sure I didn't forget something. No, it just basically tells you how to set things up and where it's going to situate. But Yeah, I wish this was in here. You can actually see the ports where it would sit. So roller is going to roll around. But as you can see, it's pretty much identical. However, there is, of course, one thing, and I'm just putting this away while I'm talking. There is one thing that the new one can do. Whoops, my antenna's not. The new one can do that the G1 and G2 can't do. Which is, if we take roller away for the moment, he does something that I'm going to call a mimic of MP44. You can, if I can figure out which way it goes, you can detach your repair pod. So you have wheels under here, and you can situate it how you want. So this piece here tabs into here, so it can have its own little adventures. There's your launch gimmick that doesn't work anymore. So you can put that back there if you want and sort of situate that there, but then it's not attached. But yeah, so it's all friction joints for the most part. You can turn it around, so if you want it to stick out the back of the trailer, you can do that. But it is relatively nice that you can actually have it go out on its own. I don't remember, the G1 cartoon never had it that way. MP44's does. MP10's definitely doesn't. And then just to put that back, you want to put the wheels in the grooves and then try to line up that square. So it's just a matter of fiddling and then just push in, and voila, it's locked back in place. So that is our trailer, and of course we have our seats here. If you look with those stickers, you can line up the sides how you want. And of course, just to get it back, I'm going to fold that in like that. Oh, which reminds me, I haven't got it in because I'm not taking them off. But you do have missiles that will go into here, and it does have, it feels like friction launch. So that is something, but I'm not taking them off. So, oh, by the way, that can open up very tightly. And if you're lucky, you can get a small figure and put it in there. Actually, I wonder. I don't think so, but I literally just looked at Windblade. I'm like, I wonder. Not really. Doesn't fit a Titan figure, but take it for what you will. And speaking of Windblade, while I'm thinking of it, size comparison, there is your combat deck with Windblade, so she can actually park herself in there and get repaired if you want her to. And of course, we just fold this down, put this back together, which these tabs here hold it very secure like. So then it's just a matter of lining things up and tabbing things in. I don't think my thing's in the way. I think that's just a matter of, there we go, got it. And we can put that back up and put those in if we want. Also, I don't know if it's just mine. Let me know if it's on your copy. I don't know if I can actually show it. You can just make out these swishes in the plastic. Let me know if yours has that, because I don't like that. It just seems like, there we go, imperfections in the plastic. But, yeah, it could be just my figure and, no one else's. So there we go. And, of course, you can stand it up like that if you want. All right, next we can have a look at Roller properly. So here's Roller. You will have to attach the wheels. It has a little red light, and you have seats, which ironically, now that I've put him away, or her away, I can't remember what Windblade's Titan Master is. You can probably, I think the actual tab's going to be in the way. Yeah. So you can't really put them in the seat, sadly. So, but you can have this hold onto Prime's gun or onto his own little equipment. You can rotate this around this way. You have this peg, and we can take his gun. And this is why I think this one's still here. You can plug that in there, and then, of course, you can angle it how you wish. Of course, then you can always just plug it in the back. So it's up to you how you want to peg that in. He does come with his own little accessories, which I haven't taken out. He has his Energon supplier thing like they all come with. But like I said, I'm not taking this out. I'm leaving it in the plastic. So there we go. Assuming I'm getting foam from the box. So then we can just rotate that back around and just make sure we're situated properly. And there's our roller. And of course, there he is with Windblade. So there we go. All right, now we can get back to the man of the hour himself, looking at the right figure. I don't think, did we do a, did we? No, we didn't. So there he is, just with the cab with Windblade. I'm not even going to try that because I'm too cold. All right, let's get this back into robot mode. So the instructions tell you to do the arms first. I'm going to try doing the legs again. So what I'm going to do is I need to get past these pieces here. So I'm going to untab the legs, bring that around a bit and down. Do the same on the other side. Like I said, honestly, this feels like it rubs against here. That's why I don't like doing it. And then what we're going to do is very, 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 very carefully, you're going to separate here. You can maybe just see in there, just separate the hips and rotate up the... Actually, this is something I've never done. Go walk. Actually, do it this way. See if the toes will actually do it. Probably not. There you go. Go walk Optimus Prime. And I kid you not, I only thought about the go walk when I did the Commander class Jetfire, and I have not actually checked to see if he can actually do it. So there is that at least. All right, then we're going to come in here and we're going to carefully pull the hands out. And we can flip that out. Do the same on the other side. Beg my pardon. Then we can bring this around. And then we can flip the head up. And there is Optimus back in his robot mode. But we are not done with this mode just yet. So like I said, you can have these thing up here if you want. I thought this would actually hinder his leg movement. It apparently doesn't. But we do have accessories that we have to go through. Well, at least one other accessory. He comes with his Energon axe, which is nice, transparent. That's the word I was trying to use for his matrix. Transparent. Anyway, to use this, you flip this down. And I don't think it's any specific hand. I think it doesn't matter. This is going to go over his hand, like so. And then you close that up. And then you can angle his hand however you want. Honestly, my MP10B has his axe out. My MP10 doesn't. I prefer to think that Nemesis Prime is a lot more savage. So you can do that with both hands. And it's actually quite nice. There's no specific spot in the trailer like MP10s or MP44s where that goes. So that's just basically going back in the box. Right, so let's arm this guy up because he seems a bit sparse. We'll give him his gun back. Like I said, it won't go up here. Actually, you know what? I'm curious. Oh, no, that handle's in the wrong spot. So oh, hang on. I wonder. Probably just... Nah. Worth a try. Trying to see if the old G1 style would actually fit. I'm assuming that the vintage one also wouldn't fit. But, oh well. Sacrifices and things and the like. So, there we go. And of course, then you can position him however you want. I'm going to have to look at my thumbnail to try and get him back into his position, how he was situated. But let's do a size comparison. Here he is with vintage vintage MP10, vintage G1 vintage Optimus Prime. So same height and everything, except he's just got a whole lot more articulation and whatnot. And of course, the big one. Here he is with MP10. And for the most part, he can pretty much do what this guy can, except his transformation, as we know, is a lot more complex and he has a few extra steps and whatnot. But for the most part, if you want to articulate this guy like this guy for the most part, you can pretty much do it all. Even he doesn't, I think, have a forward butterfly joint in the arm, but that's neither here nor there. But they do look good together. He is a darker red, he is a brighter red, but it is what it is. So there we go. So, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe, ring that bell, leave me a comment. I was so looking forward to doing this. I knew that if I was going to do the short little videos with the reissues, and I was going to do this guy after the Terracons, I really needed to get that vintage one done so we could actually have a proper comparison. So there we go. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.